Welcome to the Pioneer Museum, and this is our story from out of the past. Come on in the research library. We're going to visit with somebody about some very important people in Fairmont's past. This is Lenny Tweeden, and today I'm going to visit with a longtime resident of Fairmont, Mike Gary. And he has some very interesting things to say about a person that was significant in Fairmont's past, Frank Day. Mike, I know I'm just going to lead into this with something you told me I thought was really interesting. You actually had seen Frank Day or had met Frank Day, and I think you said your dad worked for him, didn't he?
Yes, Lenny. Frank Day came to Fairmont in 1890, and and he bought the what was then, maybe it was the Martin County Sentinel, but he bought the Fairmont Sentinel. He was financed and backed by Mr. Bullard. And Mr. Bullard eventually, years after that, built the Bullard House.
Okay, so he was a hotel man then.
He was a hotel man. And eventually, like many around here still remember, the name was changed to the Edgewater Inn. The man that really was really familiar came in about 1900. That was Major
Nelson?
Nelson, right.
Okay.
And he was he was famous for his editorials, famous for his writings.
He worked with Day then too at the Sentinel.
Yeah, yes, he did. And Frank Day sold him. He had a financial interest in the Sentinel. And Major Nelson, was a staunch supporter of our museum here, along with Judge Haycraft and Mrs. Nightingale and all the Edmonds. He was only 21 years old when he came here and bought the Sentinel. He came here from Estherville. My father was about 4 or 5 years younger than Frank Day. They had a name for people who worked in the newspaper, and they call them Printer's Devil. And their job was to do the job that nobody else would want to do. And so that was the job my dad had. It was kind of interesting to know that if nobody else wanted to, he'd have to go down and meet the trains.
Oh.
They always had a newspaper reporter when the train came in. And they wanted to know, and people were very cooperative. He'd have to go up and say, where did you come from and where are you going? He was a good man to work for and a good man to...
well respected and well liked in the area?
Very, very much. He was so well respected. I know my father had happy memories that he could drive him to any special banquet. He drove Frank Day to the opening house of the Foster House, which was a hotel across from the Opera House. And
that was right to the west then, wasn't it? Right across the street to the west.
Exactly. Yeah. Frank Day lived where Jerry Gresher lives right now on Woodland Avenue.
All right.
He was a big promoter of Fairmont. He ran a great newspaper, great editorials, and he was outstanding in promoting Fairmont. Frank Day, with a couple others, did a tremendous amount in supporting and giving Fairmont a big boost in the...
One of the shapers of the community from the past.
It's certainly right, Lenny.
Well, we are running out of time. Are there any closing comments you want to make about Frank Day from your recollection or from your father's recollection?
Well, there was great people that followed, and I don't recall as now, but Major Nelson carried on. And there were some awfully great people at the Sentinel.
Okay.
So sure enjoyed visiting with you, Lenny.
Well, thank you, Mike. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate the information you can provide us from the past in Fairmont. This is Lenny Tweeden for our story from out of the past about Frank Day.